Breaking. Trump's tariff hike on Canadian metals? Will this trigger a trade war? The global economy is once again at a critical turning point. President Trump has just doubled tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum imports, raising them to 50%. This move has sent shockwaves through financial markets, causing deep sell-offs, weakening the Canadian dollar, and raising concerns over a full-blown trade war. But what does this mean for the United States economy, global trade, and consumers? Will this boost American industry, or are we heading for another economic downturn? Stay with us as we break down the true impact of this controversial decision. On March 11, 2025, President Trump made the unexpected decision to raise tariffs on Canadian metal imports from 25% to 50%. According to the White House, this policy aims to strengthen domestic steel production, create jobs, and reduce reliance on foreign materials. However, economic analysts argue that these tariffs could have severe unintended consequences. Many believe this is a political strategy ahead of the next election designed to appeal to key voter bases. Others fear that this is a return to Trump's America First trade policy, which previously led to retaliatory tariffs, increased business costs, and a weaker economy. Financial markets react instantly. Markets responded immediately and negatively to the announcement. The FTSE 100, a major European stock index, dropped to a 7-week low as investors feared that escalating trade tensions could slow global economic growth. United States stock markets, including the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500, experienced steep declines as businesses priced in higher production costs and potential supply chain disruption. Aluminum prices surged, reflecting growing concerns that industries reliant on metal imports will face severe cost increases. The most affected industries include the automotive sector, where manufacturers like Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis will face higher production costs, potentially leading to vehicle price increases. The construction industry, where higher costs for steel and aluminum could lead to delays in infrastructure projects and increased housing prices. The aerospace sector, where companies like Boeing and Airbus are expected to experience rising manufacturing costs, which could impact aircraft production and airline ticket prices. The currency impact. What this means for investors and consumers. The Canadian dollar weakened sharply, losing over 2% against the United States dollar. For investors, this introduces new risks, particularly for those holding Canadian assets or investing in export-heavy industries. For businesses, profit margins could shrink, especially for companies that depend on cross-border trade. For consumers, this could mean higher prices for goods imported from Canada. Travel costs to Canada could also rise as exchange rate fluctuations impact spending power. Former United States Treasury Secretary Larry Summers strongly criticized the tariff decision, calling it an economic mistake that could destabilize trade relations and weaken both economies. Will Canada retaliate? Canadian officials are already considering countermeasures. Ontario Premier Doug Ford hinted at aggressive retaliation to offset the impact of Trump's tariffs. Potential responses could include tariffs on United States exports, including automobiles, dairy products, and technology goods, halting electricity exports to the United States, which could cause higher energy costs in northern states, stricter regulations on United States businesses operating in Canada, affecting supply chains and corporate expansion plans. The last time Canada retaliated against United States tariffs, industries on both sides suffered. Farmers, automakers, and manufacturers lost billions in revenue. If this trade war escalates, both economies could face severe consequences. How will this affect you? For businesses, these tariffs will increase costs, forcing many to adjust pricing strategies or cut expenses elsewhere. For car manufacturers, higher material costs may increase vehicle prices and reduce consumer demand. For construction firms, steel and aluminum price hikes could slow project timelines and drive up home prices. For consumer goods companies, increased costs for packaging materials and aluminum-based products could lead to inflationary pressures. For everyday consumers, expect higher prices for cars, appliances, and everyday items. Inflationary concerns will only add to financial stress, as wages may not rise fast enough to compensate. With inflation still a concern, this tariff decision could further complicate economic conditions, making it even harder for central banks to maintain financial stability. Trade wars in history, lessons for today. This isn't the first time that the United States and Canada have been caught in a trade war over metals. In 2018, Trump imposed similar tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. The result? A one-year trade war that cost American businesses over $15 billion. A 20% decline in Canadian exports to the United States, damaging industries on both sides. The United States automakers raised car prices, impacting consumer affordability. Fast forward to 2025, and history might be repeating itself. What happens next? Are we facing a full-blown trade war? Analysts believe this could be only the first phase of a bigger trade conflict. If Canada retaliates aggressively, this could lead to further disruptions in agriculture, technology, and energy markets. If global markets continue reacting negatively, this could slow down economic growth in both countries. If businesses pass these costs on to consumers, inflation could increase, interest rates may be adjusted, and consumer spending may decline sharply. The big question now is the United States prepared for an economic battle that could disrupt global trade? Final thoughts: what this means for the future. The impact of this tariff decision will be felt across industries, businesses, and households. While the policy is framed as a measure to protect domestic production, the potential for escalating trade disputes raises serious economic risks. Will these tariffs truly strengthen American manufacturing, or are they setting the stage for another economic crisis? What do you think? Will these new tariffs help or hurt the economy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on global finance, trade policies, and market trends. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay prepared for what's next.